Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to the success story session. So today we have with us Mr. Mayur who has cleared the SEBI Grade A 2025 examination. His journey of clearing the SEBI Grade A examination is a story of pure dedication, perseverance, focus, and sacrifices. He has seen many ups and downs in his journey of clearing this examination. So today we will understand from him his strategy of clearing this examination. He has given the 2024 SEBI Grade A exam also, but missed the final cutoff just by zero point 0.8 marks. And he cleared in the SEBI Grade A 2025 examination. So today, let's understand his strategy and celebrate his journey of clearing this examination. You will learn a lot from this session because Mayur has a lot of strategic points as well as a lot of lessons for all of you. So let's get started. First of all, heartiest congratulations for clearing this examination, Mayur.
Thank you, ma'am.
In your case, I can say it is well deserved.
Thank you.
Okay, let's start with the session. And first of all, what was the feeling when you saw your name in the final merit list this time?
So, very candidly, I was sleeping, and I had told my fellow aspirant friends that if the result comes, just call me because I did my night shift and I was very tired. So I told them that, and this time it like the result took a lot of time. So that happened, and when I woke up, I saw like there were many missed calls on my phone, and there was one message from my friend that "Badai ho," and it was like I didn't understand what to do. So it was a moment of joy. I ran to my mom, I hugged her, and I cried a lot because there were many sacrifices during this preparation. So it meant a lot to me. It was one of the happiest moment of my life.
Rightly said. Now, can you share your educational background before moving ahead with your journey for this examination?
So I have done my graduation in forensic science, which is very different than the common studies. Post that I've done an MBA in marketing from Wellington Institute, Mumbai, and I have over 6 years of corporate experience working in market research, data analysis, and project management.
Okay. How did you get interested in SEBI? Because forensic science, then the MBA in marketing is very different from like SEBI and the workings of SEBI.
So it is very peculiar to Mumbai, the answer to this. Like what we do in Mumbai, we travel a lot through our local railways. So, and there's this behavior of Mumbai population that we have a certain group while we travel, so that the journey becomes very easy and comfortable.
Hmm.
So in my group, there were many seasoned investors and there were also investment advisors. So they used to talk a lot about share market, talk about SEBI and what SEBI is doing to develop and regulate the markets. So I used to listen to the conversations and understand like what are the different terms. आज market red है, आज market green है. That intrigued me a lot. So, despite not being in a finance background, they told me that it's a regulatory thing. You can get into it and you can give certain exams that are needed for getting into SEBI. So, that was how my journey to SEBI began.
Okay. And you started your journey for SEBI Grade A preparation in 2020. And
Yes.
you focused on SEBI only. So why is it so? Like, why this dedication towards SEBI?
So, in the start, when I was first laid off in during the COVID, it was very difficult time for all of us. So, my focus shifted to preparing regulatory bodies rather. So, there were many government exams, but the regulatory body, and I also had guidance from the train group. So, they told me that regulatory body examination, in particular, SEBI, is a good job you can do, and you can apply your skill set. So and also I also did my MBA. So the syllabus which SEBI like the syllabus which is required for the examination, I could relate it with and coincide it with my what I had studied in my MBA days. So that was one thing which was very important to only focus on SEBI. And one another thing is SEBI is in Mumbai, like, and I stay in Mumbai. So that is, I know that there could be postings in other areas as well, but largely in the initial years, it can be Mumbai. So that is one other factor that also helped me to prepare for SEBI.
And were you not afraid that you will have to compete with the core CA, core commerce background students?
I was not afraid. Like I started with a preparation strategy wherein firstly I did it. The 2020 attempt was all self, so I did not have any proper guidance. In my next attempt, which was in 2024, I joined EduTap. Saw the structured course. I saw that okay, this is something which can be done. And the other thing, it was about my mindset. So currently, I'm working in cybersecurity firm. It's a digital forensics firm. I don't have much of the like technical knowledge, but still I'm thriving because there are certain skill sets which are applicable in every field. And if you are developing those and consistently working on those, you can survive in like areas where the specialized knowledge is also required, but then there are also jobs which can be done without specialized knowledge. So that was my approach altogether.
Okay. And you missed the final cutoff in 2024 by zero point 0.8 marks. You must be very heartbroken. So, how did you
Yes.
overcome that situation, that point of time?
So, firstly, I tried to understand where it all went wrong. So, as per the trends, it was the easiest paper. The phase two paper two was the easiest paper, and I saw that technically I could not deliver much in paper two, but I was strong in paper one.
Mm.
So I saw that, and later on, when I saw my interview marks, that was the most heartbreaking thing because I only scored 7.2, which was not as per my expectations because I never failed a corporate interview. And considering that, when I like micro analyzed and did a retrospective analysis, I also approached those who are already in SEBI, like what did you do and where did I go wrong? I had my transcript, I had my answers, everything analyzed with them. So I thought that I understood that okay, there is something which is lacking, and that was balance of answers and clarity of thoughts or articulating the answers properly. So I worked upon that. So it is very heartbreaking that you miss the cutoff by only zero point 0.8 marks, but then it's a part and parcel of life. You need to like accept it and move on and work on the things which were not in place. So that was my approach altogether.
Okay. That's why in the starting I said that it was a well-deserved position that you have got, because it is very difficult to come out of not so failure, but just missing the cutoff by zero point 0.8 marks. And you did it with such grace that you focused on where you were lacking rather than just blaming that, okay, that day was not my day, or that particular panel member has asked me this question. That's why I missed the cutoff. You inspected yourself that how I can improve, because you are the one that have to clear the examination. Very
Yes, ma'am.
gracefully said, and I hope the students also get this mindset that do the analysis in yourself. The examination, the kind of exam that you are giving is very dynamic in nature. It keeps on changing. You cannot change the authority. You cannot change the exam conducting body or something.
Yeah,
You
but
have to bring changes in yourself. That is
yes,
very, very nicely said. Now, what did
yes.
you do differently in 2025 in comparison to your 2024 preparation?
Okay, so for 2025, I solved a lot of MCQs. I firstly bought our EduTap's book, the offline copy, the hard copy. So it helped a lot. I solved that book. Despite solving it one time, I solved it around 3 to 4 times because to understand the concepts and try to apply the knowledge. Later on, I took MCQ courses. Like I already had around 3,000, 4,000 MCQs, but I felt that was not enough because I had to give everything I had. And so I also bought the additional MCQ course, which the supplementary course, which were EduTap provided. Though I could not complete it much, but one thing I observed there was the level of difficulty was like moderate to difficult,
Mm.
which helped a lot. So understanding the application of the knowledge was important, which I felt, and I did that. So this time I solved around 7,000 to 8,000 MCQs, and I also practiced paper one one change which I did was I used a keyboard, a similar keyboard which is used in examination while doing my work. So I already spent like 8 hours typing on the keyboard, so I got the memory, muscle memory for that. So that helped for typing speed. The interview part, I gave a lot of interviews, like mock interviews, and one of the most highlighting thing was the offline mock interview, which was conducted by EduTap. It helped a lot. So I gave around five mock interviews, and the first was offline, which and there was a session conducted by Kuldeep sir. So he also helped me a lot for articulating my thoughts, trying to calm my mind in all the chaos that I had, and so there was this information overload which happened during interview phase because uh, everybody is curious, and I was curious a lot, like what will come, what will be asked. So technical knowledge, even the professional ability. So everything was overflowing, and any impromptu questions, I was facing difficulty in articulating my thoughts. That was also because of lack of sleep because I work night shifts. But Kuldeep sir told me that you can focus on question, you can break down on the important points, focus on what you know,
Hmm.
take some time, take around 3, 4 seconds, let the information come in, and then start speaking. So that helped a lot. I practiced that in my subsequent interviews, mock interviews during online sessions, and whatever feedback I got, I implemented till my last interview. And I collated all the feedback and I delivered that in the main interview. So that is something which helped a lot.
Okay. So you knew that, okay, in the interview you have to improve. So you focused on the interview part. You also gave the offline interview, as well as you also focused on the MCQs. I think that helped a lot this time because the kind of examination was very different from the previous years. So the
Yes.
like attempt of more and more difficult questions helps. Okay. Now coming
Yes.
to the next question, you have been preparing since 2020. So a time comes when your brain gets tired that I have been studying for so long. My friends are going out, they are having fun, they are going out with their family. You are also married. So did you not feel that frustration that why am I doing so, or when will this stage finish? When the preparation will finish?
So one thing, this preparation, like this year, was very different and special because I had a newborn daughter with me, and she was the source of my motivation. I was doing it for her. So and the other thing was I was on like already working, and I was setting up my priorities. So there was one thing, if I'm not working, I'm studying. So that was the like approach. The other thing about sacrifice is like, yeah, I did not attend any parties, any meetings. I did not meet my friends for like 7 months. And like after seeing my name in the offer letter or after seeing my roll number in the result, it all came in and it all felt like it was good and it was worth it, I would say. And all my
Yes.
friends are understanding, so I know that.
Did you not feel like you just told that you have a newborn baby just like before the examination, I think. So did you not feel that you are missing out on the few months because 4 months you were giving dedicatedly for your preparation. So did you not feel like you're missing out on your
Yes, I felt that a lot. I cried a lot for that. Like I had to keep my baby away for till my mains examination. So that was the most challenging phase. But then I made it a point that I'm doing it for her. So no matter what, I am doing it for her, and I'm getting selected this time. So that was the source of my inspiration and motivation. So yes, I missed out a lot on things, but then it also comes like if your family is supportive. My wife was very supportive about it. She did not let me feel even for a minute that you're missing out on something. So she was very supportive. Even my parents, even like my in-laws were also supportive. So family support is one important thing that helped me. And yeah, these are the challenges. I mean, if you need to do something, you need to do the
Hmm.
sacrifices. And so that was the reason I like I did not keep any stone upturned. Like
Hmm.
I gave it all I had.
Right. Now, it is very difficult to maintain the work-life balance, but you were maintaining like your work with the preparation and with your married life and the responsibilities that come with that. So, how were you so dedicated as well as how were you able to manage so many of the things?
Regarding work-life balance, so I was fortunate enough that I had a work from home setup, but it was all night shifts, and it was there was one more challenge which was like very taxing mentally as well as physically. I had to work 18 hours shift once a week or twice a week, so that also added to challenges. So when you're working, either there's a very limited time for left for your preparation because your body and your mind both are tired. But then it's like if your priorities are set, uh, that helps a lot. So I made it my priority that if I'm not working, I am studying and I am giving everything I have for those planned hours which I have for studying. So it was like I had around 9 hours of shift, and post that I used to study for 7 to 8 hours. So
Mm.
everything was planned, and sleep was not the priority here. So I mean, I took some risk, but it all like helped a lot. And I think once you are dedicated and once you see the result, you know that okay, the sacrifices or the things you did, it will all come together and your life will be sorted thereon. So that is one thing which helped me to, focus on my studies despite my work.
Can you walk us through the day in your life so that we can understand how were you managing?
Yeah. So my work day starts at 6:30 p.m. So 6:30 p.m. I log in and I continue till 3:30 if there's a normal day. And if it's on call, I have to work till 9:30 in the morning of the next day. So post that, I'll sleep. I had to sleep for around, I mean, it was 3:30 to 9:30 that I got the sleep, and, and, and post that, it was all study.
Mm.
So
Okay.
even there were some days where I could not even, maintain my personal hygiene, but that was all fine because I used to lock me up in my bedroom and I used to dedicatedly study for hours.
And what were the main, like you have given three attempts, 2020, then 2024, 2025. So what were the three main challenges that you felt in the preparation journey?
So first is the dynamic nature of the examination, because SEBI has this habit of changing the pattern as well as the difficulty of the examination. So, I mean, having 6 years of experience, work experience also helped me here because during your work, you face different challenges and you try to solve the problems. So that's problem solving ability comes in innate. So that helped a lot. Secondly, it is about having patience because the cycle itself is a 7 month long cycle, 7 to 8 months long cycle. So you need to be very consistent, disciplined, and focused on your preparation. So that helped because I had my priorities set. It was all taken care of. The third is about the technical subjects and the different subjects that come in because it is very different from all the other examination.
Mm.
Even only PFRDA and IFSCA syllabus coincides with this. But if you see those like those subjects and the depth of questions and the breadth of questions, it all were very vast. So that is one challenge which was faced by me.
Okay. Now, before starting with the strategy, like one question that who was the main supporting pillar in your preparation journey?
So my family was the supporting pillar, but my source of inspiration was my daughter.
Okay. Now, let's start with the strategy. Let's start with the phase one, paper one.
So one thing about I was always like okayish in aptitude. So paper one was never a challenge to me. But yeah, I was very bad at quants. So during 2024, I remember I scored negative in quants, but English I aced it because English has always been my forte. So that took me English and general knowledge. Like I like to read a lot about different things that are
Mm.
happening around the world. So that helped a lot. But quants, I was devastated when I saw that, okay, you were in the negative of the marks for that. I remember I solved in 2024, I solved one question and that went wrong. So I was like, I was very nervous during the 2024 attempt, like whether I will clear it or not. But English took me through. The one change I did for 2025 attempt was I did all-round preparation. I made it a habit that I'll solve these many number of quant questions, like these sets of reasoning, and this time I did an overall preparation, and this time the marks were good for paper one. About
Okay.
paper two, so paper two was something which I had been studying for 6 years because it was my third attempt. So that all came naturally, and I started like my habit was I will always go to the basics and start from the basics all again because I don't want to lose out on important points. Because there is always one thing that could be blinded
Mm.
on your vision. So I always used to go through it again and again and try to understand it in where like many different perspectives. So that helped a lot for phase two, paper two, and phase one, paper two as well.
Okay. Now let's discuss about the subject like one by one. So let's start with the company law. This time there were application-based question. So how did you prepare for the company law and in the examination, did you face difficulty or you were able to manage?
Yeah. So company law was one of my forte.
Mm.
I enjoyed reading the sections, and like understanding what is the main reason behind it. So that helped a lot for application-based questions. And the other important thing is practice. I mean, you practice different MCQs from different sources, like in different with different difficulty level, and that is how the application thing was taken care of.
Okay. And coming to economics, because that was also a very dramatic and dynamic part that came this year. Like there were statement-based question, there were numericals, multiple fill in the blanks, and the math the following. So, like, how did you prepare the economics before the examination, and then in examination, how did you manage it?
Economics was the most surprising part because so what I did in 2024 was I couldn't understand the charts, and so I focused on in 2025 I focused on charts. I So there was not much of the time to see all the recorded lectures that you provided, but I think I referred to PFRDA PFRDA series, the very short sessions which
Mm.
were targeted for PFRDA as well as SEBI. So it was coinciding. So I
The
tried to
record,
understand,
the live classes, I guess.
yes, the live classes. So
Okay.
those were short as well as the notes, the RRR series were very crisp to understand what is happening in the concept. So understanding concept was important. But when I saw the paper, it was actually very surprising because none of it came. I mean, there was no ISLM, there was no
Mm.
supply demand thing. Everything was very different, and it was, I think, mostly on GDP and other things. The other challenge was reading through the question because it was very lengthy. The questions
Mm.
were around three, four paragraphs, and then you have to understand the options as well. So keeping your calm, again, the emotional intelligence part comes in. Keeping your calm to understand the question, like what is happening, what is given, and what is asked. So that helped a lot.
Okay. And for economics, for company law and other subjects, did you make your own notes?
Yes,
Okay.
I did.
And like how the notes should be prepared because most of the students have this habit of just writing down everything. So did you made like the lengthy notes or were there crisp notes that you were focusing on?
So there were two types of notes. First, lengthy because this was made in my earlier attempts, the
Mm.
lengthy notes because I had to firstly go through the syllabus and try to understand that. Crisp notes, I made it a point like whenever I'm going through a session. whenever
Mm.
I'm going through my notes again, I'll not refer to it again. I'll try to memorize the concept or understand the concept, and then accordingly, I'll do the crisp notes. So that
Okay.
that was how crisp notes were made. Because I mean, recollection was one thing which was also challenging since the syllabus is very vast. So that helped in recollecting things.
Okay. Now let's come to finance and management. Like, how did you prepare for these two?
Finance is the most difficult part, I would say, in for a non-finance background person in SEBI.
Mm.
And the approach was trying to understand the weightage of the chapters, which was not applicable for this examination because it was out of the bounds. But yeah, I mean, if you try to understand the concepts and how the syllabus first. So breaking down the syllabus and what is memory based, what is application based. So segregating that and targeting the approach accordingly is important. So that is what I did. For memory based, I used to I had an Excel Gantt chart prepared, like I have to do finance revision in these days. Like,
Mm.
so the first thing I did was to revise all memory-based things. And then I would practice MCQs for application-based questions or chapters.
Okay. Now coming to like management also.
Yeah, management was very easy for me because I had studied it in MBA days.
Mm.
But also SEBI has a very surprising thing that it asks question from different aspects. And but management was very much manageable to me.
Okay. This time the income tax GST questions were there. So, like in the examination, were you worried? Like, what was the mindset? Because your mindset is very important in the examination. So, how did you tackle this kind of change in the pattern and the questions?
So GST was not a surprise, I would say, because there were speculations that that might be asked, and finance would be the difficult part. One such s- I would say one such thing was paper two of phase one. It was difficult this time.
Mm.
So it gave an idea that paper two is going to be difficult and finance is going to be difficult. But I did not anticipate that it is going to be this vast and this in depth about GST and income tax. So I had prepared about GST, but did not go in depth because of the width of the syllabus, and it was not expected. But then again, it's the nature of examination to surprise and challenge you. So those were the. I think I left those questions for GST, which I was not sure.
Okay. And in the examination, when you were saying that, okay, so many of the lengthy questions are there, so many of the like different nature of questions are there. So how did you manage that mindset at that time? How did you keep your composure?
So another thing which is important is giving mocks. So EduTap mocks are good. They are the difficulty level is good and moderate. But if you have ever given CAT examination or other examination, you will understand that the question's length is different. But if you break down the question in that time, like that amount of time, and try to understand the gist of it, then you'll also firstly you'll understand what is being asked. The second challenge was the options because options were very close and confusing. So trying to eliminate those options like which are not, so it would be like it is definitely not this, and then it can be this and it can be this, then like hovering over it and choosing the right option was the approach.
Okay. Now coming to costing and commerce and accountancy, the last two subjects.
Again, difficult for me. I think I had a KT in my MBA days for accounts, so I was always frightened and worried about it. But then again, those sessions I said about PFRD and other live sessions which were conducted by EduTap, I referred to those for continuously clearing my concepts and trying to understand them. I also tried speaking to my friends, like who had a finance background. So that also helped a lot. Like, what is this terminology? How do you solve this? So again, reaching out to people, right people at right time is also important. So that was my approach for costing and accounts. I also solved a lot of numericals and MCQs this time, so that helped a lot.
Okay. Now coming to the phase two paper one, that is English descriptive. So did you practice for that? Like you said that you had purchased a keyboard and you were making it a habit to write. But did you practice essays and everything that is required from the examination perspective?
Yes. So my descriptive practice was firstly, I did not practice all three sections in a day. I used to break it down to first essay, then RC, and then your Pressy. So RC was one of the easiest thing because everything, the information is in right in front of you. You just have to articulate in your own thoughts. But essay was a challenging part because there were like diverse range of topics that were that could be asked or anticipated to be asked. So I think there was a notes given by EduTap about probable topics. I referred to those, and I like for every particular genre there was a topic. So
Mm.
there were common points which could be used in any of those essays. So I used to write those points and like ensure that I can mention that points in the essay which I write. So that was the strategy for essay. RC was very much taken care because it was all typing and understanding what has been given in the passage. Pressy was about summarizing, not actually summarizing, but giving a precise explanation of what you understand. So, firstly, I saw sessions by our sir, and I understood that it is not a summary. You need not try to write everything which is given in the passage. So that was the gist of understanding how Prezi works. So I also then practiced different articles from different newspapers and that also from different genres. So that helped a
Mm.
lot. About typing, I made it a habit that whenever I'm typing on the keyboard, which is similar to what is used in examination. So that helped a lot for descriptive.
Okay. And like what was the strategy that you used? You started with RC or Pressy or essay?
I always started with RC because that was the lengthiest part. So, I mean, if you are writing an essay, you have like 40, 30, and 20, I guess. 40, 30, 20. Yes, 40, 30, and 30. So 40 marks was the most crucial marks for me because there were five questions each for 8 marks. And that was mentioned this time in SEBI examination that you have five questions each for 8 marks.
Mm.
So, right, like doing justice to every question is important. And there were different types of questions. So that was also taught in our sessions, which I followed and tried to understand it. So RC was a most time-taking part for me. I spent around 25 minutes on RC for each question, yeah, for five
Okay.
questions, I spent 25 minutes. And post that, I wrote the essay and Pressy at the last because if I am a good fast reader. I could read things and I can understand what's the gist of it.
Mm.
So that helped a lot to me.
Okay. Now, coming to the interview part, we have discussed about the six subjects. We have discussed about English descriptive. So now coming to the interview part, you have told that you gave the mock interviews. So how was the final interview? Like, if you can tell that what kind of questions came in 2024, as well as what kind of questions were asked from you from 2025.
Both the common thing was it was all profile based. So my 2024 interview was also profile based, but the level of difficulty was very much high in 2024. And I was also nervous because such questions were thrown out to me, and it was out of context. Like one question I had, which was out of context, was there are recent elections that has happened, and you have a market research background and you see that the exit polls are not coinciding with the exact like with the outcomes. What do you think you should do, and can you penalize the agency which has done that? I mean, It was not related to SEBI. It was not related to my profile because I had basics of my market research understood and like the applicability. But such a question about exit polls and whether I can penalize the firm, which was not in my like interest. So it was a difficult question for me. I can remember that, and I fumbled a lot in that question. Then there was a case study which was impromptu given to me in 2024 about a Telegram scam and how would you approach that. So that was quite a learning, and I actually enjoyed that because it was challenging. But then when I analyzed my answers, I felt that I was very rigid about it, like rigid about a certain perspective, which is not expected in such kind of interviews.
Mm.
So I spoke to like seniors who are already in SEBI, well, different officers, and try to understand what is expected out of the interview. So that helped a lot. And I tried to inculcate that and implement that in my answers and try to think in different perspectives while practicing. So that was one thing. And 2025 interview was good. The other important thing is in 2024, I was the 12th candidate in the morning session. So my interview took place at around 1, wherein my reporting time was 8:30 in the morning. So the tiredness, all the fatigue all comes in. But this time everything was in place. Like reached to SEBI office in at 11:45. My document verification took place at 12, and at 12:05 I was in the interview room. So that also helped a lot because you have a very fresh mind and you do not talk to anybody. You don't expect different questions out of them. So having a stable mind and having a fresh mind is also important. So in 2025 that happened. I would say that is a part of luck, but then again, keeping your composure is important during the interview.
Okay. And what kind of questions were there in 2025 in the interview?
It was all about my choices which I made in my life, like why forensic was the first question. What is forensic was the first question because nobody, like very few of them know. So I explained what is that and how it could be applied to SEBI. The other thing was there was a drastic transition from forensic to MBA. So why I did that? So I had prepared all these answers and I vetted them from with like very all the panel members. Like if I'm asked this, if I'm
Mhm.
saying this, will it be fine? So that helped a lot. And the like if I go through my transcript, the technical part was very less. It was
Mhm.
mostly 70% of it was the professional journey.
Okay. And what, like, you have talked to multiple people after your 2024 interview, right? So, what were the
Yes.
learnings that you got from the people, that how the interview, like, what they are judging in the interview, or what you should be doing in the interview?
First is balance of answers. Like you need not be very rigid about a certain perspective. You should be open to thoughts and ideas. Secondly, whenever the other person is speaking, you should stay silent. You should not counter them because obviously you will be offending them. Third thing was trying to articulate the thoughts and trying to not rush to the answers, but take some time, think about it, hover about it, and then answer. So that those were the points which were learned by them.
Okay, and I think these are very good points that many of the students can remember. That the rigidness, I think this is the most fierce problem that the panel members can feel, because they are taking you into SEBI. They will be teaching you some new things. Now, if you are rigid, you might not be able to learn the new things because you have that
Yes.
mindset that, okay, no, this should not happen. So, like, you need to be open, you need to be acceptable to, like, in the organization. Then again, you
Yes.
said that articulating the answer is also very important. Absolutely correct. That otherwise we will be saying some gibberish things that might come in our mind. Very nicely said. Okay. So anything else that you want to add for the interview part?
For the interview part, yes, give as many mocks you can. Try to approach it as a learning rather than a judgmental thing because obviously the panel is going to judge you, but they are going to give you a valuable feedback. Try to try to implement them and practice it as much as you can. So that is how interview and also I mean, keeping your calm is important. That comes with experience. So
Mm.
practicing is important.
And a question comes in the mind of many of the students that the interview is for your personality, not for your knowledge. So, how do you think? Is it true or not? Your knowledge is also tested.
I would say it is not completely true
Mm.
because, firstly, you need to have the basic acumen of finance so
Mm.
that you can survive in the finance world. And the about personality, yes. So if you don't know, you don't know, but you should be open to learning. So this was one feedback which I got from Satyaranjan sir that you are saying that I don't know, but you're not saying that I will definitely go and read about it.
Mm.
So I tried to implement that, and I in the final interview I said that. So that was something which was very positive in nature and it helped me. Um, yeah, those were the points which were taken care of.
Okay. Now we are towards the end of the session. Any message that you want to give to the students that are preparing for the examination?
Prioritize yourself, keep your priorities set. And if you have a certain examination in mind, make it your life. Failures might come. I have failed a lot of times, but try to learn from it rather than cribbing about it because I mean, yeah, move, we have to move on. No matter what, we have to move on. Life goes on. The other thing is having a job helps a lot. I mean, even if you're earning quite low, but still you're earning rather than not earning. So that helps a lot to keep you financially as well as mentally stable. So that is, I can give an advice. I would like to give an advice to the full-time aspirants that get a job which can be done with your preparation. So there are many jobs, so that can help.
Okay. And the last question for you that was EduTap helpful for you? And if yes, then how helpful was EduTap?
Absolutely. I mean, it was the first and the foremost important source of my preparation because in 2020 I did a self-preparation and I did very terrible in that. Horrible answers, horrible marks. So that was not the approach. But when I joined EduTap, I joined the course for full 2 years. And then I started understanding the content, started that like I firstly learned the structured thing which EduTap provides. So understanding every aspect of the preparation, which I think EduTap provides a lot. So that is important. EduTap syllabus, which EduTap teaches, is very vast though SEBI surprised us a lot this time. But I know that EduTap will, inculcate the feedback and try to structure the course accordingly. And yes, in every aspect, I mean, of the examination preparation, EduTap was helpful.
Thank you so much for your kind words. And yes, after this time, we have added a lot of numericals and everything because as soon as the exam came out, we were like, yes, we need more numericals. We need more of the understanding and such. Thank you so much for joining the session, Mayur. I hope that you do very good in the SEBI also. And I know that you will do good. Congratulations once again. And thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.